Maria Cantwell, the Democrat from Washington State and chair of the Senate Commerce Committee. Senator, welcome.
Thank you.
Are we sure Intel is going to be the best steward of all of these funds? Just looking at the fact that its shares are peaked in the year 2000 and have fallen about in half over the past 18 months. You know their struggles probably better than I.
Well, there's a lot going on here in what you're saying about the numbers. But, first of all, the third quarter is never a great quarter for technology. If you think about it, people are out and about. They're not inside buying product. And secondly, we know that Intel is doing everything it can to make investment in what will make it the leader in chip design. So the CEO has said, we're not doing stock buybacks, we're making this investment. So that might affect the market for a while. But the story today is the United States is sending a big message that we're going to invest in bringing the manufacturing sector of semiconductors back to the United States, growing our percentage of that because we have supply chain problems, and making sure that we have the science and technology to lead in the next generation of design, so that we know that this is investment today, jobs tomorrow. So these numbers, they will have good numbers, and this is the right investment.
You know, the timing of this, the irony of it struck me a little bit as well with Speaker Pelosi's trip to Taiwan. This will arguably make the U.S. less dependent on Taiwan for the manufacturing of chips that NVIDIA and AMD and the others make. So at the same time that we're sort of more vociferously than ever backing Taiwan, we're also moving our supply chain away from them in this key area.
Well, anytime you're 80% dependent on something, it's not a good idea if you have risks to that supply. And the pandemic showed us that we do have vulnerabilities in our supply chain. So the United States now wants to up its percentage of manufacturing in supply and also, again, be the best in design. The next ideas that integrate big data AI into delivery, whether it's driverless cars, precision agriculture, new medical devices. And so to do that, we have to make sure that the ecosystem of chips is here in the United States. And we have really slipped down to 12% over the last decade, not a position we want to be in.
Absolutely. I think it was 80% or something like that in the past. And Intel used to be one of the most incredible companies in America. Let me just ask you as well, as we look to move this entire industry more or less, onshore it, is there a precedent for success in something like this? I don't know what the correct, term is for industrial, some sort of industrial national strategic program. But do we know that this will succeed?
Well, this is really about investment. This is about an investment tax credit, which we've done investment tax credits for solar and wind, and we can see that we've created more of that economy here. We're really investing now in that for the smart grid so that our grid system can integrate. At the White House ceremony was an entrepreneur talking about concurrent. I think that was the name of it, concurrent or current, maybe just concurrent. But he's come up with a technology that basically can recharge cars on the spot without infrastructure, the physical infrastructure around. So great idea. So what we're going to do is with this investment and lots of investment by the private sector, make us the hub again of this innovation. So the more that we're pouring in and getting the collaboration between business and universities and the National Science Foundation, the more that collaboration produces results for the United States. The more people want to be on the cutting edge, the more they want to come here. So it is really trying to turn the tide and basically saying there's a new day in America when it comes to semiconductor manufacturing, and that day is going to be an investment by all of us to make sure that we continue to lead in this particular area.
I hope you're right. I hope it works. It reminds me a little bit of, who is it, Kaiser during World War II, who had to pivot into shipbuilding and managed to do, just pull off these incredible feats of engineering in a very short period of time with a big program behind him. You sort of raised energy, so I just wanted to ask you as well about whether we need a similar investment. And you're an expert in this space, obviously, and have been for years. Do we need a similar effort in our domestic energy infrastructure right now? Because when I look at the headlines coming from Europe, and it's pretty scary, some of the stuff going on right now. And while we appreciate that we're doing clean energy investments, just shoring up the grid in general, do we need a program of a similar scale to make sure that bills aren't going to spike and we're not going to have, outages?
Well, the chip investment really is, by us, a very small investment compared to what the private sector is going to put in. And the reason why is it even necessary is because the types of incentives being offered by Taiwan and Korea and now even Europe, we have to be competitive in making sure that that manufacturing base does remain in the United States. And on energy, while we have made similar investments in the ITC, one of the things that we just passed here in the Senate is on the way to the House is to further incent the movement towards a sustainable aviation fuel. This is a big part of emissions, a big part of our transportation fuel sector cost. We know that it's too costly. It raises prices on people. So if we can make a transition to cleaner, more sustainable aviation jet fuel, that will be a big change in the economy. So the CHIPS bill that we passed, CHIPS and Science, has an investment in our national labs to look at testbed technology, that is technology that can be deployed and scaled like advanced aviation sustainable fuels and other concepts that actually small nuclear reactors, a whole variety of things that will be part of the next generation of energy to help us diversify off of more polluting energy sources. So yeah. We just know this about the United States. If you invest in innovation, chances are, and even if you think about it, the natural gas innovations that have happened because of, government R&D that led people to understand what was next with natural gas.